in Guwahati University. Very difficult to spell out. Distinguished guests, faculty, principal, my team, Wazida, Juri from National Law University, Assam, and my dear students. If we take it as a festive occasion, I would say that you have been already served with a starter by the esteemed team. Perhaps I would be serving the core lunch, followed by a dessert by madam. And also my lunch will be a little tough, easy to hear, difficult to digest. जब ज़्यादा खाना खाते हैं तो अलग नहीं होता है. So that's the kind of stuff I will be trying to place before you today. If we call this occasion, as has been stated by a few, as a red letter day, I do not know, but if you call that as a red letter day, whatever, then we have to negotiate regarding that date. My lunch is divided into 3 dishes. The first one is the saga of the Constitution of India, for which the grammar that I will be using is the scientific philosophy. The second dish is what is known as critique of the Constitution. Because Constitution belongs to the modern world, but we are living in the postmodern era. So therefore, obviously, I will be using the grammar, which is action philosophy. And the last one of the lunch, the last dish of the lunch rather, would be indigenization of the Constitution, or constitutional philosophy, which is to be called as so. Within the grammar that I will be using is Gyan, Vigyan, and some Gyan, Vigyan, and Sugyan, Smriti, Vismriti, and Bharatiya Samskriti. Kind of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, let us start the eating of the lunch. You are all hungry. I know this lunch is not of a proper time, but then this is intellectual lunch I'm trying to provide to all of you today. You see, Indian Constitution, if you look at it from the perspective of scientific philosophy, has been a document which has been drafted as Dean has been talking to us. In fact, he has served a very detailed starter, not many items, which I want to be a little more cryptic and then say, those almost 300 gentlemen sitting for almost 3 years, debating on the B.L. Rao, Lani, Krishna from Inga, Munshi, lots and lots of people whom we used to call them in those days, even today, juries, law pundits, have ultimately with that kind of an enduring, terrifying type of a debate and dialogue for 3 long years to build a mammoth constitution to a very mammoth country like India. But in the process, we have built a constitution which needs to be looked into scientifically. We have a written constitution with lot many provisions, with lot many very good things in very many countries across the globe. Fundamental rights, directive principles, federalism, parliamentary system of democracy, president is there, separation of powers borrowed from ideas of people at Montesquieu. There are lots of authentic institutions like parliament, executive, judiciary, auditor and controller general of India, and lawyering system, justice system, Panchayat Raj, many things. It looks like a complex supermarket in which everything is available, but none you will be able to buy because it is just a window shopping. हाईली कॉम्प्लेक्स इमारत, इतना बढ़िया सा इमारत आपको मिलता है भारतीय संविधान के माध्यम से कि आप उसमें हर चीज आपको मिल सके, लेकिन आप खरीद नहीं पाते हो क्योंकि आपके पास पैसा नहीं है खरीदने के लिए। चीजें बहुत बढ़िया हैं, चीजें बहुत बढ़िया हैं, चीजों को आप खरीद नहीं पाते क्योंकि चीजें बहुत महंगा है, बहुत ही महंगी होती है। संविधान के प्रावधान जो है बहुत ही महंगे प्रावधान है, हम उसको पकड़ नहीं पाते क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ है this kind of a judiciary wherein you have to go with a lot of money to get justice. You have a bureaucracy, we have a head bureaucrat sitting with us today, which is so very far removed from the totality of the community, like especially the tribal community. We have parliament where things happen which are unconnected with the populace. These are the kinds of things we have brought about. If this is my first part of the discourse, because I don't want to kill my time in giving out the details of the provisions of the Indian Constitution, this is only the scientific philosophy I have presented before you. Therefore, I quickly want to come to the critique of the Constitution of India, wherein I will be using the 21st century grammar of action philosophy. I would rather want, because I am looking at you, you are all becoming very dull because you are not able to negotiate with me. My language is becoming a little more abstract, a little more unintelligible, like the Constitution of India, right? I will take you through some kind of a past. The past is something like this in this world. If you go back to the philosophy, scientific philosophy, all this constitutionalism has its own past in this world. We started with beautiful types of civilizations in Indus Valley, Greece and whatnot. But no, systemic things over the time that we later on built up. Then all of a sudden, some 2,500 or 700 years ago, we built new notions of God, Semitic God, sovereignty, conception was built upon that. We have had 3 Semitic religions over a period of these 2,000 years. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, who argue and then say there is one God, supreme God, inviolable God, sovereign God, and we are all his slaves. And each one of these gods are represented by their, whatever you may call as, God's representative, Messiah, Son of God, Abraham, Jesus of Christ, Muhammad Paigambar. And we have scriptures, inviolable, 10 Commandments, Bible, Quran, cannot even change a dot or a comma. Forget about the word. Your throats will be cut if only you touch these inviolable, sacrosanct documents. This was the panorama of religion over the last 2,000 years coming from the Western Middle East. I'm not talking about India. As that comes in my third part. It's only the critique, the modern action philosophy, for which I am laying down the backdrop. So क्या होता है बाद में? Sovereignty of God is tolerated by the people? No. There is Protestantism. Science fought back and then said, scientific inquiry is independent of God, but it's not the denial of deity. People have faith and trust in the existence and presence of God providential, doing of things from above. It is unknown, heaven, whatever. That's not denied. What was denied is providentiality of science. People like Francis Bacon and others, they argued and then said science is independent of God. Secularization of science took place. Then came the problem of church and king in Rome and elsewhere in Europe, with a continuous struggle and fight between the church and the kings, emperors. A process has been built in too after the Dark Ages, a very terrific experience in the West. Secularization of the state. That state is not to be mixed up with God. Politics is to be separated from religion. The business of the state is different from the business of religion. This is the kind of a perspective that was built, and then thereupon has been brought up the new process in Germany and elsewhere in Europe, which ultimately we call in political terminology as European Renaissance, or the period of Renaissance, wherein all these so-called golden granules of democracy and its those cudgels of the type like freedom, liberty, dignity, equality were engraved into the political civilizations across the globe. But yet again there are some black spots here and there. It has been their experience that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So therefore they very carefully carved out the separation of the power. बाट के खाना, एक आदमी अगर मोनार्क बनता है तो बहुत ही आतंकवादी जैसा आदमी होगा, वह तो पूरा समाज को खत्म कर देगा, वो दास बना देगा. They will enslave the whole of the political society under his thumb rule. So therefore, the power is needed to be limited. And how do you build limitation upon the power? The limitation can be built by dividing power, cutting and dividing power. That's how the power has been separated. But then the corruption remained. You brought in the division, thinking that mutual checks and balances will build a society which is devoid of corruption, political corruption. But then the separation of powers theory remained kept intact. The slogan of power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. It has been divided into three organs of the state. So this is how those fundamental principles of constitutionalism and rule of law have been built up. Because rule of men were not worthwhile in their experiments in Europe and America. People were not trustworthy. But then look at the paradox when Plato carved out his ideal state. He said, the ideal state is the one in which each person is fitted aligned with the role for which he is best fitted. And the rulership is in the philosopher king, in the hands of a philosopher king, a monarch, a saint type of a monarch. But then in the same very Europe we brought out the collective wisdom of the parliamentary or presidential form of a democratic political order under the rule of law, into bracket, rule of law, into quote, rule of law, not rule of men. Dead letters, black and white dead letters would rule us, was the unanimous kind of a philosophical conclusion that was drawn through the European Renaissance, and democratic frameworks were built up, and then they were described as civilized nations. Democracy started functioning at that time. And in the same land of Germany, where these kinds of discourses were built by people like Hegel, gradual unfolding of the idea, there was an anti-movement by dialectic materialism by Karl Marx, which paved way for alternative political philosophy called communism. And communism and democracy both were cradled by Germany, and then they got from there into the West and the East. The East was communist world and the West was democratic world. Then the communist world crumbled for whatever reasons. People say Gorbachev's perestroika and glasnost were the reasons for the tumbling down of the communism in erstwhile Soviet Union, USSR, United States of Soviet Republic, the Red Army. You have a lot of Red Army over here in the Northeast. Therefore, that's very much relevant when we talk about constitutionalism in this country. So this is the historic process through which these now dominating a monolithic political order wherein democracy becomes the worldview. Whatever its other ramifications be, we take democracy as the lone savior of human civilization, as the other alternative has already crumbled down. But then paving way for very many nasty outer effects, fallouts of this democratization of the globe, which made one visible symptom of disease is terrorism. And very many other dimensions are also there. Paucity of time, I cannot do a discourse upon that, which takes me into a totally different domain altogether. Then, ladies and gentlemen, mark my words, all this ultimately is expressive of the limits of democracy. The limits of democracy in the way of scientific philosophy. So with this panoramic preview of the constitutionalism, I will come to the postmodern world, the grammar of action philosophy. What is action philosophy today? We look at everything from the practical point of view. We have the grammar built by people like Derrida, Lacan, Jacques Derrida and Jacques Lacan, wherein we simply dissect, segregate things and then pierce our eyes into it to understand what it is. When we did that, Europe crumbled. There has been economic and political disaster for the last 20 years or so in Europe. America has lost itself to Trump a few days ago. Monsters can become democratic heads of the state. Standing example, United States of America. Limitless speeches, vulgarization of political process. Having two nude girls by his side after becoming a president-elect, touching their private organs, is the president-elect of the bloody big democracy of bloody democratic world. Should we not look into all these things as deconstructionists, action philosophy. Where are we heading with democracy? This kind of democracy, touching private parts of the young ladies, whom in our country we call as devatas. Devatas Swarupi, Mata Swarupi. I become angry with this. Terrifically angry. My God, in the name of democracy, in the name of rule of law, it is not those dead letters of law which are ruling, it is these monstrous demons who are ruling in the name of rule of law, taking their refuge in the name of rule of law, and then building up nasty societies in the name of civilization. So therefore, my dear friends, all those marginalized ones are worked up in postmodern period, 21st century world. Marginalized, GLTs, African race communities, tribal communities, Northeast, despite Article 370 of the Constitution of India, because dead letters of law cannot rule. Northeast is the very best example. You have 370 ever since. Article 370 ever since. The Constitution has been given to you. What is it that you are getting out of that Article 370? These are the questions which drive us back to the questioning. Whether democracy and rule of law, which have been enshrined in the globalized constitutionalism of the modern world, 20th century world, 18th, 19th, 20th centuries, democratization, rule of law, parliamentary system, fundamental rights, human rights, universalization of principles and ideas, uniformization of the system, cutting all those different people into sizes, cutting their tails, so that they shall not wag their tails, was the agenda of the majority. Majority became the rulers and keeping minority under law. Cruelty writ large upon these hapless, helpless minority. Whether they are gays, lesbians, physically and mentally handicapped, tribals, colored and blacks, and whatnot. Terror is unleashed on all these people under the guise of rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen, with this critique through action philosophy, I come to the last part of my lunch. That is indigenization of Indian legality through the grammar of can, began, and sugan. Shruti, Vismruti, Bharati, Sanskriti. We are a beautiful country. We have been a country of 5,000 years of a wonderful coexistence. We have been able to live along with all kinds of innovations. Almost for the last 1,000 years or so, we have been an invaded country. People say that there have been innovations earlier also, iron invasion, things of that sort. Whatever that be, I am not going to the debating type of a dialogue, but then there have been invasions. At least in the last 1,000 years, we have witnessed two very important invasions, Islamic and Christian, or European, or Western. They ruled us. So therefore, when we are in the last 70 years or so as an independent nation, are not able to think as ourselves, understand us as ourselves. India is in shackles. Our thought process, whether it is in Jawaharlal Nehru University, IITs, IIMs, or whatever, We are not able to think beyond the worldview that has been doled out to us by the modern period. We are stuck in the modern period. We are not able to get out of 20th century modernization of the globe and modernization of India by Europe, the British, especially in those unfaithful 300 years of their rulership in India. Why not we try to understand ourselves, to build up our legality? Should we not start thinking in this life? Don't we have our smriti? How we have been so tremendously energetic even today of transmitting the jurisprudence orally for the last 5,000 years. If you argue and then say Mahabharata, Ramayana have been written down by those guys like Valmiki as Vasishtha, and therefore people read and have understood it. No! Every unlettered person of this country, whichever the religion he may belong to, knows these two stories. How? The grandmothers on their laps, while feeding or soothing the grandchildren, will tell these stories. That is India. Nowhere else in this world, my dear friends, you will get this kind of a grammar of learning. Smriti. जो हमारे स्मृत पटल पर बन के बैठा है, किसी माइकल लॉल का ये नहीं है, दम नहीं है कि वो इसको निकाल के फेंके। कोई निकाल के नहीं फेंक सकता, लेकिन जो आप एक संविधान के बारे में मोबाइल को पढ़ के for the last 45 years or so, ever since I joined the LLB program in 1974, today we are in 2016, I have been reading. जब हम राम के बारे में कहते हैं, युधिष्ठिर के बारे में कहते हैं, तो इतना सरल से बोल जाते हैं कि भाई उनका तत्व क्या था, उनका बर्ताव कैसी थी, वो किस चीज के लिए लड़े, किस चीज वो थे। क्या हम उसी तरह हमारे संविधान के बारे में कह सकते हैं? Will it be possible for us to understand Constitution? Be very frank, think over in your own selves and then find out whether it is possible for you. It is impossible because it is not yours. Whether that Mahabharata or Ramayana is yours. Those small ethnic stories in those, Chandama, or in those whatever kinds of different kinds of storybooks, Panchatantra stories, छोटे छोटे कथाएं लोग लिखते थे और लोगों ने संगीत के मुताबिक उसको लोगों को पढ़ाते थे। कीर्तन, भजन, गायन, पुराण, प्रवचन रखते थे, अब भी रख रहे हैं। तो उसके माध्यम से पूरे राष्ट्र का न्यायशास्त्र बनता था, धर्मशास्त्र बनता था, लोग जुड़े रहते थे। Society, civilization used to go on. स्मृति विस्मृति बनता था, विस्मृति से संस्कृति, भजन कीर्तन के मुताबिक विस्मृति बनता था, साइंस बन जाता था। उसके माध्यम से हम समाज का निर्माण करते थे, वो संस्कृति बन जाता था, civilization we used to construct. But then we were stuck to not first invasion. The damage done by the first invasion was not that very dangerous, it was only physical. हमारे जो टेम्पल्स थे, मंदिर थे, उसको तोड़ा गया, मंदिर को तोड़ा गया, डैमेज बहुत ज्यादा नहीं था। लेकिन जब ये लोग आए, डेमोक्रेसी वाले लोग आए, तो उन्होंने हमारा कमर तोड़ दी। They just broke our backbone called Indian Sugyan. ज्ञान विज्ञान सुज्ञान, स्मृति विस्मृति, भारतीय संस्कृति को वो तोड़ के डाल दिया। जब वो हमारा जो आदमी है, लॉर्ड मैकॉले, he was telling in the British Parliament to the British Queen. देखिए, जब मैं वहां जाके देखा तो वहां भिखारी लोग है ही नहीं, इतना समृद्धि है कि भाई यहाँ तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. We will never be able to dominate India. जैसे उन्होंने कहा, उनका ये सिलसिला इसीलिए है, उनका इतना गुणात्मक शिक्षा वहां पर बनती है. It was such an absolutely qualitative education system they have. गुरुकुल का जो हम बात करते हैं तो वो है, इसलिए हम उनको तोड़ नहीं पाएंगे. We will never ever be able to break them, control them and rule them. So therefore it has been decided, hidden agenda, to spread these Christian convent modern schools. Build an alternative education which will destroy automatically by those few chocolates that will be distributed in the form of those jackets, ties, food in the afternoon, free education, whatnot. A serious attempt has been made. I do not say it has been destroyed, but we have all those alternative constructs, including these law colleges, national law universities and other universities, IITs, whatnot. I don't want to burden you with a lot of philosophy. I will quickly come to the conclusion. What is the solution for all these things? It's, according to me, is not $1 million question. If only we resolve to do something. We have learned beautiful things. We have experimented those beautiful things. Lived with all those beautiful things, which we have forgotten in the last 1,000 years of innovation. Our minds have been colonized. We have been dominated. Our ideas got distorted. So what we need to do is very simple way of doing things. Decolonize our sciences, especially social sciences and legal science. Decolonize our minds. Remove all those distortions. Read critically the whole of the Oriental philosophy led by people like Max Muller. Read theories reconstructed by people like Edward Said in his Orientalism. Beautiful classic text of the postmodern period. Reorient. Come on. Build what I have given a call when Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister, when I delivered my first weekly discussion on Amrita, virtual, interactive, e-learning world, software built by Krishna Gopal Swami, under the aegis of MKN project led by Sam Petroda. I had the privilege of working in that committee. When I gave a lecture to this nation on Aviv, I was arguing for Indian Renaissance. Indian Renaissance using these two Bhashya, Bharatiya Bhashya. Jnana, Vigyan, Shubhyan, ये अपन का भाष्य है. इसको रख करके हम हमारा समाज पुनरुत्थान करेंगे, पुनर्निर्माण करेंगे, पुनर्जीवन करेंगे. So we are to be into the Indian Renaissance. It will never be like the European Renaissance. In European Renaissance, only Europeans spoke and all others listened. It was not a dialogue. It was only a monologue, Europeans talking to themselves and others being enslaved by them, simply watching and accepting the peak that was given to the others by these fellows. It was absolutely uncritical acceptance of these ideas, because giver of the ideas was giving and the taker was blindly taking. There was no any sort of critical examination of these things. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, when Narendra Modi took up the administration of things in this country, he sent out an email ID with a telephone also. If you have ideas, give out your ideas. I wrote this, my Indian Renaissance story, in a paragraph and sent it across to him on that ID. Then he gave me an invite to participate in India Ideas Conclave, which had generated when he became the Prime Minister those 2 years or so ago in Goa. Hotel Park Hyatt, something like that, where we went and congregated, trying to make a deliberation to how India should grow. People are confused, Narendra Modi as well. So we have to make serious thinking, which requires pratyabhigyan. समझते हो प्रत्यभिज्ञान क्या होता है? जिस सीख को हम सीख करके भूल गए हैं, उस सीख को फिर से सीखना है. We have to learn, relearn the learned and forgotten. That is pratyabhigyan, which we have to start. So therefore, my dear friends, I do not call it as either evolution or revolution, but as Swami Vivekananda had said, it is involution. So this day becomes something like ours. If only we make this day the Constitution Day, the National Day. Jai Bharat!